Joining me now is Jasmine Harris, the Director for Black Media with the Harris-Walz 2024 campaign. Ms. Harris, thank you for coming on the show tonight. Before we start, I'd like to get the Harris' campaign's reaction to the Israeli airstrike in Beirut that killed Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah.
From the very beginning of this, Vice President Harris has been clear that she's working day in and day out, side by side with President Biden, to bring common sense solutions to this complex issue. And our campaign will continue to make sure that we're making clear to American voters across the country that there's only one candidate in this election with the leadership, with the dignity, with the character to deal with such a complex issue and bring a peaceful solution to it.
Talking about leadership, yesterday Vice President Harris made her first visit to the border since becoming the Democratic nominee for president, and she pledged to crack down on illegal immigration.
Those who cross our borders unlawfully will be apprehended and removed and barred from re-entering for 5 years. We will pursue more severe criminal charges against repeat violators. And if someone does not make an asylum request at a legal point of entry and instead crosses our border unlawfully, they will be barred from receiving asylum. While we understand that many people are desperate to migrate to the United States, our system must be orderly and secure.
Why was it important to go now? And how does the campaign think black voters will react to Harris taking a tougher stance on illegal immigration?
I think that this is just another example for the American people of the choice they have in this election. Vice President Harris has been clear that she is committed to bringing common sense solutions to the border. She has also made very clear that she is committed to signing the bipartisan border deal into law. On the other hand, you have Donald Trump, who blew up the bipartisan border deal because he wanted to create political problems. So again, on one side, you have Vice President Harris, who is ready and willing to take action. And on the other side, you have Donald Trump, who wants to play political games.
And there was a bipartisan deal, bipartisan legislation led by a right-wing member of the Congress, and they had the votes. And then Donald Trump made calls saying it would hurt his running for another office or another term in office of president. Let me go to this issue. This week, Vice President Harris delivered a major economic speech in Philadelphia where she pledged to take on corporate price gouging and lowering the cost of living for struggling Americans. How can her vision for the economy also help to boost black communities?
An opportunity economy is one that prioritizes Black Americans. When you look at holding corporations accountable who are rising the cost of everyday goods that hardworking folks need to buy on the daily basis, when you look at providing support to those that want to buy homes for the first time, when you look at getting rid of medical debt, right? When you look at making sure that healthcare costs are low across the board and continuing to cap the cost of insulin at $35, not just for elder Americans, but for all Americans. These are all common sense tools that will help Black Americans be able to get ahead and not just get by. When you look at the economic opportunity tour that the Vice President led across the country, when she talked about making sure that Black Americans across the country that wanted to start their own business had the access to capital that they needed and the support from federal contracts that they needed, the Vice President is the only candidate in this election who cares and is putting, action behind providing real access to Black Americans.
Now, Vice President Harris is gearing up for another campaign bus tour. This time she will be going to HBCUs across battleground states. Which colleges can students expect to see the Vice President at, and what will be her main message there?
Well, it's still being decided where the vice president herself will be at, but we're really excited about this. We will be dispersing national and local Black leaders and surrogates across the country, across battleground states during HBCU homecoming season. You and I both know that HBCU homecoming season provides the perfect opportunity for our campaign to talk directly to Black voters to, one, lay out the stakes of this election, and two, underscore the choice that Black voters have in this election, right? On one side, you have Donald Trump, whose Project 2025 agenda would be a complete disaster for our community. On the other side, you have Vice President Kamala Harris, who has not only helped lead the Biden-Harris administration in delivering historic progress for Black Americans in the form of millions of new jobs created, resulting in record high Black employment right now, in the form of more Black Americans having health care coverage right now than ever before, but also Vice President Harris, who is very committed to charting a new way forward that includes the creation of this opportunity economy, right? That provides Black Americans with real tools, real economic tools to not just get by, but to get ahead. And so it is very clear that we'll use this HBCU homecoming battleground tour to make sure that Black voters understand that there is only one candidate in this election who is prioritizing Black America and has the record to prove it.
We're out of time, but let me ask this. This coming Tuesday will be the first and probably only time the two vice presidential candidates, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, will have a televised debate. What are your expectations from that particular debate?
I think, we will see J.D. Vance get behind this Project 2025 agenda that we know is going to truly hurt Americans. And you will see Governor Walz, who is committed to charting a new way forward, to working side by side with Vice President Harris to really making sure that we're protecting a woman's right to make her own healthcare decisions, to make sure that we're protecting, the resources that American people need to get by in this economy. And so, again, it'll be another example for the American people to see the stakes in this election and to see the choice they have.
All right. Thank you, Jasmine Harris, the Director for Black Media with the Harris-Walz 2024 campaign.